They did not see it coming because you did not announce it. You did not post every move. You did not explain your pain or broadcast your plans. You chose silence, and in that silence you built something strong. While the world was loud, you were locked in. While others were talking, you were working. That is how real growth happens, not in applause but in isolation, not in likes but in late nights and early mornings when nobody was watching. There is a different kind of confidence that comes from knowing what you survived. When you stop needing validation, you start moving with purpose. You stopped explaining yourself to people who were never meant to understand you. You stopped proving yourself to rooms that never respected you. You realized that your energy was too valuable to waste on noise. So you redirected it into your habits, into your mindset, into your future. This glow up did not start on the outside. It started in the mind. It started the moment you decided that comfort was costing you too much. When you chose discipline over distraction. When you chose growth over gossip. When you chose long-term vision over short-term pleasure. That decision changed everything. You began to carry yourself differently. You began to speak less and observe more. You began to move with intention. There were days when it was lonely, days when you wondered if it was worth it, days when progress felt invisible. But you kept going because you understood something most people never will. Consistency does not need witnesses. Progress does not need applause. You knew that if you stayed locked in long enough, the results would introduce you. And now here you are, not loud. Not flashy, just solid. The way you walk speaks. The way you move speaks. Your discipline speaks. People feel the difference before you say a word. They notice the glow, but they do not know the grind. They see the confidence, but they do not know the battles. They see the strength, but they do not know the sacrifice. That is the power of the silent glow up. You did not change to impress anyone. You changed because you refused to stay the same. You outgrew old habits, old environments, and old versions of yourself. You became someone who does not chase attention but commands respect. Growth that happens in silence is the kind that changes your entire foundation. It is not the flashy type that gets celebrated early. It is not the kind people clap for while it is still fragile. Silent growth is heavy. It is built when nobody is cheering and nobody is checking for you. It is built in moments where you could quit and no one would even notice. But you stay anyway because you know what you are becoming. When you grow in silence, you stop performing for approval. You stop chasing quick recognition. You understand that attention can slow you down if you are not ready for it, so you move different. You wake up earlier. You stay focused longer. You sacrifice comfort without complaining. You do the work when motivation is gone and excuses sound convincing. That is where the real transformation happens. Not when it feels good, but when it feels necessary. Silent growth demands discipline. Not the kind you talk about, the kind you live. Discipline that shows up on days you are tired. Discipline that keeps promises you made to yourself when no one else is holding you accountable. It teaches you patience because results do not show up immediately. You learn to trust the process even when there is no proof yet. That builds a level of confidence that cannot be shaken. Because it is not based on opinions, it is based on effort. There is also sacrifice and silent growth. You give up distractions. You give up certain people. You give up habits that used to feel normal, but were holding you back. You stop going everywhere. You stop explaining why you are not available. You start protecting your time like it is currency, because it is. Every hour you invest quietly compounds. Every choice you make with intention adds weight to your future. While others are loud about their plans, you are strategic. So you keep your vision sacred. You let people doubt you. You let them misunderstand you. Because clarity does not come from convincing others. It comes from committing to yourself. And in that commitment, you grow stronger. Silent growth also reshapes your mindset. You stop comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 10. You realize everyone moves at their own pace. You stop rushing success because you understand that shortcuts cost more in the long run. You become more focused on mastery than attention, more focused on progress than praise. That shift alone separates you from the majority. There will be moments when you feel invisible, moments when you wonder if it is working, moments when the world seems to reward people who are louder than you. But silent growth teaches you endurance. It teaches you to keep going without validation, to find pride in effort, to respect yourself enough to finish what you start even when nobody is watching. And when the results finally show, they hit different. They last longer. They carry weight. People feel your presence because it is earned. They see the glow, but they do not know the nights you chose discipline over comfort. They do not know the times you kept moving when it would have been easier to quit. That is why your success does not need an introduction. It explains itself. Silent growth is not weakness, it is strategy. It is understanding that the strongest moves are made quietly. And when you rise, it will not be sudden to you. You knew it was coming. You built it when nobody was looking. Real transformation always starts on the inside long before it ever shows on the outside. That is the part most people skip because inner work does not get applause. Nobody sees the mental battles. Nobody claps for emotional discipline. Nobody rewards the decision to change your mindset when your life still looks the same. But that inner shift is the real glow up. Everything else is just decoration. There comes a moment when you realize your biggest enemy is not people, not circumstances, not luck. It is the version of you that keeps choosing comfort over growth. And once that truth hits, you cannot unsee it. You start paying attention to your thought, the way you talk to yourself, the excuses you make, the standards you tolerate. You understand that if you do not change internally, no external success will ever satisfy you. So you start rewiring your mindset. You stop reacting emotionally to everything. You stop letting temporary feelings make permanent decisions. You learn how to pause before you respond. You learn how to control your energy instead of giving it away to every distraction, every opinion, every setback. That alone separates you from most people. Emotional control becomes your quiet power. Internal change also means learning self-respect. Not the loud kind, the kind that shows in boundaries. You stop entertaining situations that drain you. You stop explaining your worth. You stop begging for effort, attention, or loyalty. You realize that what you allow will continue. So you raise your standards and accept that not everyone can come with you. That is not arrogance. That is growth. You begin to build new habits. Small ones at first. The kind that do not look impressive but change everything over time. You show up when you say you will. You keep promises to yourself. You replace impulsive decisions with intentional ones. You start choosing long-term peace over short-term pleasure. That discipline strengthens your identity. You are no longer motivated by mood. You are guided by purpose. As your internal world changes, your confidence changes too. Not the fake kind that needs attention. The real kind that comes from knowing who you are and what you are working toward. You walk differently. You speak with clarity. You listen more than you talk. You do not rush to prove yourself because you know what you are building. Silence becomes natural when you are secure. This internal shift also changes how you handle failure. You stop seeing setbacks as signs to quit. You start seeing them as feedback, as lessons, as part of the process. You understand that growth is not linear. Some days you feel unstoppable, other days you feel tested. But you keep moving because your identity is no longer tied to instant results. It is tied to consistency. What is powerful about internal change is that it cannot be taken from you. Money can leave, people can leave, circumstances can change. But discipline, mindset, self-awareness, and emotional strength stay with you. They become your foundation. And once that foundation is strong, everything you build on top of it lasts longer. The world eventually notices, but that is never the goal. The goal is alignment. The goal is becoming someone you respect when nobody is watching. And when the external results finally arrive, they feel different. They feel earned. They feel stable because they are supported by inner work that most people never had the patience to do. That is why this glow up is quiet, because it was never about impressing anyone. It was about transforming from the inside out. And when the world finally sees it, they will call it luck or overnight success. But you will know the truth. It started the moment you decided to change internally before demanding anything externally. There is a moment in every real transformation where you stop talking about what you are going to do and you start becoming it. That is when the silent glow up turns into something undeniable. Not because you demanded attention, but because your results made it impossible to ignore you. This stage is about letting your work speak, letting your consistency speak, letting your presence speak without you saying a word. When you reach this level, you understand that announcements are cheap and execution is rare. Anyone can talk about goals. Anyone can post motivation. But very few people have the patience to stay focused long enough for results to mature. You realize early that explaining your plans invites opinions, and opinions can weaken your focus. So you chose restraint. You chose to keep your vision protected. That silence was not fear, it was discipline. Becoming undeniable requires patience. It means doing the same boring work over and over again, even when it feels like nothing is happening. It means trusting the process when there is no instant reward. You learn that momentum is built quietly, brick by brick, day by day. You stop rushing timelines because you understand that anything built too fast is usually built too weak. Longevity becomes the goal, not hype. This is also where consistency separates you from almost everyone else. Motivation comes and goes. Feelings change. But consistency is what compounds. You showed up on days when inspiration was gone. You stayed locked in when distractions were loud. You kept your standards high even when nobody was enforcing them. That discipline created a version of you that does not fold under pressure. As results start to show, people react differently. Some are inspired, some are confused, some feel threatened. You notice the shift. The same people who did not believe in you now want access to you. The same people who doubted your vision now want explanations. But you do not need to explain. Your growth already answered every question. You stay humble, but you stay firm, because you know what it took to get here. Letting results speak also means resisting the urge to seek validation. You no longer need applause to feel accomplished. You do not need permission to feel proud. You know that real success is quiet. It shows in your peace, in your confidence, in the way you handle pressure, in the way you no longer react to things that used to shake you. That is power. There is also a maturity that comes with being undeniable. You stop arguing, you stop proving, you stop chasing, you move with calm certainty. You understand that attention fades but respect lasts. So you focus on substance, on integrity, on building something that cannot be taken from you once it is earned. When the glow becomes visible, it does not shock you. It feels familiar because you lived it in private first. You saw this version of yourself long before anyone else did. You carried it in your discipline, in your habits, in your mindset. So when the world finally catches up, it is not overwhelming. It is confirmation. This is the final stage of the silent glow up, becoming undeniable without becoming loud. Winning without boasting, rising without rushing. You did not need to announce your comeback because you never left. You were just building. And now your presence speaks louder than any words ever could. And that is the truth about the silent glow up. It is not loud. It is not rushed. It is not built for approval. It is built with discipline when nobody is watching, with patience when progress feels invisible, and with faith in yourself when doubt is everywhere. You change from the inside. You stay consistent in silence. You let your results do the talking. They may call it sudden. They may call it luck. But you know better. You know the nights you stayed focused, the choices you made when no one was clapping, the moments you kept going when quitting would have been easier. That is why this glow cannot be taken from you. It was earned. So keep moving the way you move. Stay grounded. Stay disciplined. Stay hungry. Let your presence speak. Let your work speak. Because when growth is real, it does not need an announcement. It arrives quietly and stands firm.